Spurs 3, Borussia Dortmund 0 is how it finished at Wembley today in the first leg of their Champions League tie. Second half, Spurs completely dominant, and what a performance from Pochettino's side.
What a performance from Vertonghen, and fair play to Llorente, who's, let's be honest, he's had people laughing at him, you know, coming off the bench or starting when Kane's been out and, you know, not doing the business. He comes off the bench, great header at a great time for him, so that was a big moment for him, big confidence booster. And, you know, and fair play to Stevie, he, you know, in particular, yesterday he talked about the deficiencies in the Dortmund defence, and unfortunately for them, we saw that in abundance in the second 45.
You talk about the defensive problems for Dortmund. We're going now on 3 games in a row where they've allowed 3 goals. See, that's not good.
Yep.
Not good at all. And it's not just one mistake. It's just an abundance of mistakes that happen over the course of 90 minutes. Spurs are able to exploit those in the second half. Passing out of the back, mistake. Turnovers in that passing game, also mistake. Not being able to mark up in set pieces, mistake. Not being able to track a run into the box, mistake. You do that in Champions League against a good team, you're going to get punished. No surprise here that Dortmund gets punished, and that Spurs is able to get this 3-0 win.
We know there is a word called Spursy, Shaq.
No.
We saw that last year, and hopefully Spurs have learned their lesson against much better opposition, certainly more experienced opposition last year. But 3-0 going away to Germany, surely not even Spurs are going to mess this up. I thought they looked very good defensively themselves. You don't give up 3 goals and turn this over. I just don't see that happening.
A lot more reaction then to this result, plus Real Madrid's 2-1 win in Amsterdam, coming up on ESPN FC, available later today on ESPN+. Let's kick off, shall we, from a Borussia Dortmund perspective. What went wrong?
I was reminded watching this of something that Sven-Göran Eriksson used to say, the England manager at the time. He used to always come up, or often, with that line, first half, good. Second half, not so good. And that's maybe an understatement, because it, of course, completely collapsed. And the reason why that happened is because Spurs realized this Dortmund team on the ball, really good. They're creating problems for us in our own half. Let's not give them the time. Let's just play 20 meters higher up the pitch, squeeze the space. They don't really have anyone up front to run behind us. Götze is not quick enough. And Dortmund, through their own fault and through a bit of pushing from Spurs from the offset, gave the ball away. Hakimi, 2 terrible mistakes, and of course compounded by Schmelz's awful attempt to head the ball for the 3-0. And suddenly you don't even understand why you've lost that game 3-0 going on the first half, but Dortmund really caved in the second.
Raf, continuing this now, obviously, from a Spurs perspective, they seem to get everything right, though, in the second half.
Yeah, they got a lot of things right. I mean, Spurs didn't have a great game, I think, objectively. A lot of things didn't work for them. This was a game between 2 teams with problems. Spurs dealt with their own problems much better than Dortmund did. Dortmund did okay to a certain extent when it came to the really important areas, to the boxes, both their own and the opposition. They didn't quite have the right solution. Spurs, through that bit of extra experience, that bit of stronger mentality, I think, as well, had it, and that made the difference. And of course, just pushing a little bit further, exposing the brittleness at the heart of the Dortmund defense. This is a Dortmund back 4 that never played together before, that's been, you know, moving people around, center-backs, full-backs, changing positions. No one really quite happy where they were, and Hakimi having an off night. And the result was a game that's probably beyond salvation, unfortunately, from the German league leaders.
It was done at half-time, and you know, we were not creating too many chances. I think Dortmund was looked very strong, and so I think they had you know, the better of the game, and then the second half we were able to turn it around. I think they dropped off a bit, and then you know, that early goal in the second half helped us, and looked like they were happy with 1-0, so we could continue attacking, and yeah, I think they gave us the second and the third goal the confidence to keep going.
He's been very modest this, and he turned into a winger for most of that match, didn't he?
No, I think I say most times to everyone, he's technically is just unbelievable, and you can play. For me, he can play every position, you know. And then I'm really happy for him. He played very well, 1 goal, 1 assist. You know, he deserved it, and we are everyone happy for that.
And that goal you scored, it's a brilliant cross from Jan. That did change the whole mood of the game.
Yeah, of course, and I think the timing was very important, but the cross was just unreal and unbelievable. And they come just in my feet, and I don't have to know many things. I just touched the ball, and then they were luckily inside. And yeah, after this we were lucky, and I was a bit. I feel sorry because I didn't run to him and I run the other side. So
I didn't have to search for my goal either.
No, it's doesn't matter. We won it first game. Of course, it's not finished. We have to focus second game as well.
Of course. Where did you run to when you scored? Of course, that capped the performance itself.
Yeah, it's been since the first game of the season against Newcastle that I scored, and I had to wait for the goal line technology back then. So now I was happy I could just go and. Yeah, it's been a while since I scored at Wembley as well, and definitely in the Champions League, and yeah, it was just one of them nights. You know, and a great cross by Sirs for that goal. He saw me running, and we spoke before the game about this because as wing backs you can arrive, you know, at each other's cross, and I think he kept that in mind. He saw me running, great cross, and same as Sonny, I just had to tap in.
And it wasn't all attacking. I mean, there was some defensive work to be done because Sancho was a threat in that first half, but it was nullified pretty much in the second.
Yeah, you know, to be fair, with Toby on my side and with Juan Foyt and Serge Aurier on the other side, we were able to keep them quiet. Definitely in the second half. In the first half, they played well around us, I think, but yeah, they were not able to be clinical and. Yeah, and in the second half, I think the game changed definitely.
And so you're getting results, impressive results as we see tonight, and impressive performances, even without Harry Kane, even without Dele Alli. That must be a source of great pride in the squad.
Yeah, but of course, Harry or Dele is very important for us. But I think Fernando or Lucas is doing well when they play. You know, of course it's the big miss, but I think the other players is ready as well. And you know, we show Fernando came on and scored an important goal as well. And you know, this is I think the big squad, the show big squad I think, and yeah, it's a big win.
And of course, if Harry continues to be injured, you can stick Jan up front, can you?
Yeah, for me, of course. No, it's what I say. You know, he's just unbelievable. I'm happy to. But
When you're playing Real Madrid and you're a huge underdog and you're getting almost 20 decent efforts on Real Madrid's goal, then I think that's telling the story. So I think the 2 away goals are key, and obviously who they're playing is key in terms of going through. But I think as much as it's picked up for them domestically, I think defensively, or the amount of opportunities they're allowing, kind of average teams at this level, that's still a worry.
Yeah, it's concerning for Real Madrid. You'll take the result.
Of course.
And I think the difference between the two clubs is the fact that whenever Real Madrid created their opportunities, Karim Benzema, who's as hot as anybody else in Europe, he's putting those opportunities away. Whereas Ajax, early on in the game, they get chances. It's a Tadic, it's a Ziyech, whoever it may be. They get those chances. You have to put them away against Real Madrid. The other thing about Real Madrid is, yes, defensively issues. And if Steven Nicol were sitting here and he would have seen what Sergio Ramos was doing in this game, it was just irresponsible defending. And some of the mistakes is things that you don't expect from Sergio Ramos. So much so he gets a yellow card. He will miss the next match. For me, Real Madrid, there's still problems. There's no question. It's a flawed team. But this is seemingly what they do. And now, at this stage of the season, is when they turn these performances that they don't look so good, that they're not convincing, but it's a win. And it's 2 away goals, and this means that they're probably going to advance into the next round of this competition, and it gives them just enough chance and just enough opportunity for them to continue to improve towards the lighter stages.
Like, this still, for me, is not a great Real Madrid side.
No, it is.
You come up against an Ajax team, and you know how open they play in their Eredivisie, and this played right into Real Madrid's strengths. Look good going forward, create chances. Benzema, a finisher of confidence, but then huge problems at the back. And as they go slightly deeper into this competition, I think Real Madrid will continue to have a lot of problems. All that being said, you look at the result in the league on the weekend, and it suggests maybe something different. I think Solari still has a lot of problems with this side. They're not really sure who they are, what they're going to do. But for right now, given what we saw from Real Madrid 3 or 4 months ago, you take this happily.
We talked a lot about Mbappe yesterday, a couple of years, of course, behind him. But Vinicius Jr. has been great since he's come in. An exciting talent, looks completely unfazed by the pressure of playing for Real Madrid.
Yeah, I mean, I was surprised it took him as long. I mean, I know he's a young guy. I was surprised it took as long for him to get as much game time. So he came here to the States with Real Madrid in the summer, and okay, it was the ICC tournament and it was friendlies, but he was a box of tricks. And I was looking at him thinking, here's a guy that's come in from Flamengo for like 40 million bucks or whatever it is, and a bit like Mbappe in a sense where he's got no fear.
Yeah.
And maybe it was the right thing just to leave him be for a little bit. But he's now finding his feet. And the more game times he gets, particularly at this level and beyond, then the more experience, the better he's going to get. And he's got the ability.
Welcome into extra time. You having some issues with the chair, Craig? You all right? Doesn't know how to use the arms.
Look at that pose. Look at that pose.
Come back.
Oh, dear.
It's not, it's the knees. It's the, when I put me...
Oh, that's not good on the belly either, that view.
No,
Cannot sit.
it's not too bad.
Bring it in now.
It was worse last year. It's trimmed down a bit. And it's on its way down.
Oh, goodness.
Bloody chairs.
What's wrong with it that we can see your legs? What's the issue?
Well, because when I put them on the thing, it pushes up into the glass because my legs are quite long.
Right.
And so I have to put my... So I don't know where to put it. If I put it down, I'm too low.
Stay down there.
Can we get Ali Moreno to continue to pick against Spurs as long as possible, please?
Sure. I'll gladly do so.
Is that the alley curse?
Yeah. However, be very careful, Spurs. If you continue to play this well, there may just be the off chance that I may pick you. And you know what happens when that...
Hey, what about Stevie? Stevie
Oh, yeah.
yesterday said he could see Spurs getting this done and dusted at Wembley, and he did.
Where is Stevie?
He is-
I would show, if I made that kind of prediction, I would just show up.
No, he's still trying to work out his map.
He did text you earlier to say that.
He
didn't
did text me and say,
Look at me.
According to him, this is what he does when he changes diapers.
Yeah, he's changing diapers. He's still got his printed instructions out in case the
Somebody
GPS
may have
fails.
said they could end this in the first.
Yes. Oh, well done.
Oh, Stevie, excellent.
After today's massive result and their recent good form in the league, do Spurs have a better chance of winning the Champions League or the Premier League?
Lord have mercy.
Well, what's wrong? I think that's a fair question.
No, it's not.
No.
Why?
They're not winning
Because
either.
to win the Premier League, they have to overcome City and Liverpool.
Okay.
To win the Champions League, they have to overcome City, Liverpool, Real Madrid, Barcelona, and keep going on.
Well, no, they only have to beat three of those three teams, don't they, really?
Yeah, but they're still same two teams that they have to.
But that's not the question.
No, but then my answer is no.
But that's not the question.
They have a better chance of winning the Premier League. That's my
better
answer.
chance of winning the Premier
Yeah.
League.
And it's a very small, minuscule chance of that happening.
Why are you looking at me like that?
Because you haven't answered yet.
It's not hugely important, is it?
What's that?
If I have to answer this.
I'm intrigued to know your answer.
No, you're not.
Craig.
That's a lie.
It's not a lie.
Yes, it is. The Premier League, by that.
Premier League by that. Is Pochettino the best manager in the Premier League?
No. The best manager in the Premier League at the moment is the man at Man City.
Why don't you say his name?
I can't say it very well.
We've had difficulties in the past.
And I don't like calling managers by their first name. Like, oh, Jurgen or Pep.
Yeah, Pep.
And so,
Because you have a habit of saying Guardiola.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guardiola.
Hey!
Say it 10 times.
And I would say just ahead of Klopp.
Klopp. Yeah.
How can Pochettino be the best manager in the Premier League?
Well, because they just...
Smaller budget, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Why is Kevin like that? Blah, blah, blah.
Oh, do you want to bet an argument as to why he's the best
No,
manager?
blah, blah, blah.
Oh, blah, blah, blah. Exactly. Is it too soon to say Vinicius Jr. is Real Madrid's best winger?
He's the best winger right now. Not too soon to say that. I don't understand the question.
Just answer that.
But why is it too soon? Why would it be too soon to say he's the best winger now?
I don't know, Shanks. It's just a question.
Well, you asked it.
I read it. It's a difference. That is it. That's the end
Wow.
of extra time today. Brief. Craig's off tomorrow. Valentine's Day, no Christmas.
Yes!
The old romantic.
Yes, there's nothing more romantic
It doesn't-
than Craig Burley.
A dozen long stem Peronis.
I tell you what. I I have been on Groupon for days. Don't you worry about that. She'll get the best Valentine's she's ever had.
Right, let's move on. Before this
Nothing.
so no Craig tomorrow, but fear
Next
not.
Thursday, isn't it?
Shaka and Ali will be here.
Yay!
And Paul Mariner, the old road man.
Oh, what a man.